Well, hello YouTube! In this playlist we're gonna learn how to work with MySQL improved extension. And if you're a beginner in PHP and MySQL in general, you will say, well, there is a lot of these things to learn. What has priority? Here is the situation. MySQL, you don't need to learn these things because this thing is obsolete. This is old way to connect with MySQL server. Please note that when you see these things, we are not talking about MySQL server right now explicitly. We are talking about something that sits between PHP and MySQL server. So these are like ways of connection, approaches to connection to server. Okay, like drivers. When you buy a new graphic card, if you wanna use all potential from it, you will use some specific drivers to pull everything from that graphic card, basically. So think about in that term if you are a complete beginner. So MySQL is old-fashioned way. MySQLi improved extension, that's what we are going to do. And PDO, so what is this thing? Well, this is a generic way how to write your PHP code that can be used not just on MySQL server but also on many other database servers. So let's first roll with MySQL, which is obsolete, but I want you to know these things. See, this is documentation for original old-fashioned MySQL type of connection. And if you go to an introduction, you will see that this type of connection, this extension, is obsolete from PHP version 5.5. Okay, and it has been removed completely from PHP version 7. So they're advising, well, normal stuff, to use either improved extension or PDO, MySQL extension. Okay, so we will not deal with PDO and we will not deal with this pure old MySQL type of connections. We will work with MySQL improved extension. So what is the difference? Well, just check number of options here. Let me go one level back and see, these are old-fashioned MySQL functions. Okay, please note that here you just have MySQL and then name of function. Okay, and we have couple of them here. Okay, just pay attention. Well, not couple of them, many of them, but when you compare that to MySQL improved, which is here, now we have a lot of options. See, the command starts with MySQLi and we have a lot of them down there. Okay, see, way too many compared to pure MySQL. Okay, and every time when you run into a code on internet and in tutorials, when you see MySQLi or I here, that means we are working with improved extension. Okay, see, so just the number of functions is way too higher than when we are working with pure MySQL. Okay, so PDO, right, PHP data object. You will recognize that in tutorials on internet and YouTube when you see these things, PDO and then type of function, class, and so on and so on. Okay, and there is a lot of things here and these things are generic. Why? Because check this here, with PDO we can get into many types of databases. So MS SQL, Firebird, IBM things, Informix, that's well-known names, MySQL, and so on and so on. So basically specific drivers, but when you type your code, that's like a generic thing, and then you need to mess around a little bit to tweak that code for dedicated server. Okay, but we don't care about this for now. We'll just be focused on improved extension. Okay, so don't worry about these things. Right, so where I was. Now what we are going to do in this project, let me push this up here, just a second. I'm gonna delete this. In this project we will create others book, very simple stuff, and tutorials will go like, we will connect to database and then we will check for some errors, then we will issue command to create database, create table. We need to care about columns, about fields. We will get individual data. We will pull last ID because that's important when, for example, when you are creating a CMS for news for press and so on, so you want to grab those last IDs and so on. We're gonna do bulk inserts, normal reports, select data, we're gonna delete stuff, update stuff, and we're gonna play around with HTML forms. Okay, so that's like a general structure what we are going to do. Right, so my setup here, and yours is probably different. I'm gonna use dev server sorry. So basically this is easyphp.org. You can get there if you want to grab dev server. Okay, and you have everything here: Apache, PHP, MySQL server, so all in one. Okay, so you don't need to worry. Now if you are advanced user, then you probably want to go with custom Apache PHP MySQL server installation. But if you're a complete beginner, just be cool, you know, if you grab one of those things, it will work. Okay, so this is how my control panel for easy PHP works. I have started my HTTP server and also database server, and down there I have PHP MyAdmin for easier administration. Okay, and for easy PHP the port is 1111, and that's pretty much it from a side of control panel. Okay, so let me see. Right, some people use WAMP server or XAMPP or whatever. That's also cool, so it's totally up to you. But as I said, you know, I think that you know PHP and MySQL server good enough, so we will not get into that, because on my my YouTube channel you have dedicated playlist for that. So I will assume that you do know about working with pure MySQL server, like typing into this thing, okay, into a terminal, and you know a little bit about PHP and how to create HTML forms and so on. So that's what I'm gonna assume about your knowledge. So right now, well, yeah, this is PHP MyAdmin, that's cool, and pretty much everything is set. So another thing is, in this tutorial I'm gonna use Notepad++, because I think that if I use like a background that is black or other color, I don't know, when we are messing around with servers, MySQL servers, I just want to see white, you know, background and black font. That's about it. Now, yes, I can use Sublime or Atom and so on, but that looks a little bit fancy. So messing around with databases is kind of serious thing, so I just want to make things simple. Okay, I don't care about how things are beautiful in this playlist. I just want to be you know, create simplest possible tutorials. Okay, so that's pretty much our setup. So yeah, that's it. And in the next tutorial we are going to start with connection to MySQL server. So thank you and see you there. Hello YouTube, in this tutorial we will learn how to get into MySQL server and how to check if everything is fine, okay, with actual connection. Now we are into index.php file, and that file is inside of root of my web server. Okay, in your case that may be something else, but the thing is that my server is working totally fine. Of course we don't see any kind of content here because we don't have anything on our page. Okay, so that's cool. So let's proceed with a configuration for connection with parameters. So config. Okay, and we need to state here what is our target, where our server resides, basically IP, domain, subdomain, something like that. So that server will be named for that, like variable, and actual data will be localhost. Okay, so if you have hosting, of course here you will use your subdomain or domain or something like that. But because we are practicing here, localhost on my PC will get the job done. Right, the next thing is user. Now user in my case will be root. Why? Okay, let me show that. So if I go to PHP MyAdmin to user account, and this is a new installation basically, by default I have a root with all privileges and we don't have any kind of password. So that's for simplicity reasons. Now some people will say, well, that's not secure, but this is for testing purposes, like a throwaway system. Of course we are not doing anything that is related to actual production, and so on. So don't worry about security, just be focused on simplicity of connection to server. Okay, right. Of course you need to pay attention when you are putting those things on internet, but in my case I don't care about security right now. Right, now we don't have password in my case. If you do have your password set up, then type that here. So if when you don't have a password, you'll just use two double quotes combined together. Okay, so no space in here. Now why I do have these perimeters in this order? Well, let me show something. See, this is a documentation for MySQL Connect function. So that's actually alias of MySQLi construct. Okay, and if you scroll down there, forget about this pile of examples, you will see that they listed perimeters in specific order. So we need to provide host, username, password, database name, and port, and so on and so on. But for now it's just enough to have server and username and password, and we have those things in my case. Okay, forget about database name, we don't have those things yet, we didn't create it. Okay, now down there we need to have actual connection. So these are like perimeters, and now we need to get inside. So a section will be establishing connection, a connection to MySQL server. So this is just a comment. Okay, if you guys are total beginners, this thing in green with the 2 slashes in front is just comments. Okay, and now let's say that name will be for our operation, well, connection. You can use something else, it's totally on you. What function we need to use? Well, MySQLi Connect. Okay, in specific order perimeters, server, and then user, obviously first user and then password, not in a reverse. So password, and don't forget to close your command, because if you don't do that you'll run into all kind of problems. So this is just connection. Now we need to have section where we will check for if everything is fine with connection, if our connection is successful. So check connection, and down there we will use if statement, like if not connection. This basically, oops, so this means, this exclamation mark means that if this fails we need to print something. So this is like if connection is not successful. Okay, we will print like echo check perimeters, check config, or is server alive at all, something like that. This is custom error message. Okay, error message in case of error. Now that's one option. Now other option using else will be if everything is fine. So this is if something is wrong, and now we have option if everything is fine, because it cannot be both of those in the same time. So echo and connection successful. I think that's 2s here. So sorry, I'm not native English speaker and I create those kind of one letter error. Now let's save those things and let me check one more. Okay, so yep, SQLi $, down there, semicolons, right. So save, and let's check our page, refresh, and connection successful. Okay, now let's use wrong things to get into error, because I want you to see what's gonna happen when we have error. So let's use something non-existing stupid password here, like totally random rubbish. Save and refresh, and warning. Okay, access is denied for that specific user at localhost, and we are using password. And in our MySQL in PHP we see that we don't have a password. Okay, so this is like normal normal error. But also we have our custom information, check config or is server alive. Okay, now also we can use something else, because see, right here we are doing custom error message, but we can also print like default generic one using this thing, die. Okay, so let's delete our custom message, and here we can group custom message plus generic message. So let's say on our side we'll just print total fail or disaster, whatever, it's totally on us, and then we will concatenate that custom message with a function that will grab things from system with information about error, and that thing will be MySQLi connect error. Okay, and because this is a function, do not forget brackets, okay, and semicolon. So save and refresh, and see here when we don't have generic information from system using this, we have just custom stuff. But now using a new code, when we click on refresh, we will have custom stuff plus additional generic stuff. Okay, so let's actually have here some space, and yeah, we can also use some HTML like here, H2, H3, whatever. And now the things will look nicer. Okay, so that's pretty much it. Now you know how to set parameters, how to establish connection, and how to check if everything is fine with connection. So if everything is fine, this will be printed, connection successful, and if something is wrong, okay, then this will be printed. And I advise you to use die and not too much of echoes, because then you will have more informations, because over time you will forget your custom messages, or they are done by some other programmers. But when you have MySQLi connect error, that's additional information and you know where to look for. Okay, in the next tutorial we are going to get into system and we will create database. Okay, and that's very fancy. So thank you for watching, as always, for support and subscription, and see you there. Okay, YouTube, let's create database. Allow me split of a second here to clear this mess with the password, because I don't use any. Now down there we need to have SQL command section. So this is the place where we will type things that we will type otherwise in MySQL terminal, like pure SQL commands, but we need to put that thing into some kind of variable, into some kind of handle. So let's say SQL command or something else, it's totally up to you. You can use here x66 if you like, and command is well known, create database, let me see, address book, don't forget to close these things. So this is just preparation. Okay, now that's fine, that's one part of the story, but we need to actual execution of command. So we will use another section here, like check SQL commands. Okay, and here we will have if statements, and we will use MySQLi query function. New stuff, MySQLi query function, and that thing demands two parameters. The first parameter will be actual connection. We must type that, because how PHP will know otherwise what we are talking about. So yeah, connection, damn it, connection. And after that we need to say what we want to run, and this is that command, like a pile of instructions. So SQL command, and if everything is fine with this, we will print something like echo database created, because we are just here trying to create database, and that's it. We don't issue any commands here yet. So this is just the simple stuff. So this is the case if everything is fine. But if something is wrong, for example, if we already have database in our server, then we need to say something like echo SQL error or database exists or something like that. Is totally up to you. But I will concatenate this custom error message with generic error for MySQL from MySQLi like driver. MySQLi error, and here we need to type what connection we are using, because we can have multiple servers with the same database, so here you need to be precise. Now we are working with connection, that one, okay, which is defined here. Okay, now please note that we are using MySQLi error like a generic function, and up here we are just using connect error function that is dedicated for just connection, and down there this will take that will grab pretty much anything. Okay, so let's close that and let's issue our command. So where I was, yeah, refresh, and connection successful, database created. So we have concatenation here. Let me fix that like here, and one break, for example, and then down there we have all space here, so that's cool. Now we already have this database inside of our server, so now when I click refresh I will get into error. So connection is successful, that's fine. Okay, we have connection, our server is alive, but this is our custom message, and generic message from system is can't create database, that one, database exists. So that's fine, that works. Let's go to our PHP MyAdmin, refresh, and there you go, we have our database. No tables yet, but our thing works. So can you use any other thing here? Well, yes, you can use x66, whatever. Now let's issue our command again, refresh, database created, once more, something stupid, and refresh, and there you go. Now I, in PHP admin, must have two additional things. So there you go. Well, I created stupid stuff here, so I need to delete it. So down there you have console, so you can click and you can just say drop database x66 and press Control and Enter in the same time, and there you go, MySQL returned an empty result, which means that everything is fine. Refresh and no x66. Another thing is, well, how to delete this basically. Yeah, let's use terminal again, like inside terminal. So drop database, what was it? Something like that, and Control Enter, and we just here have address book. So that's pretty much enough for this tutorial. Let's just check that manually, like show databases. Yeah, we need to use uppercase definitely, just to respect some rules, and after that use semicolon and press Control and Enter in the same time, and there you go, you have all results here. Now information schema, MySQL performance schema, and PHP admin, that's like internal stuff. We just care about this database. So that's pretty much it. In the next tutorial we will create table, we will structure columns in it, so maybe it will be a little bit longer tutorial. So thank you for watching and see you next tutorial. Hello YouTube! In this tutorial we will learn how to create table using MySQLi approach. Now here's the situation. We have actual database created in our server, so we must state that into our PHP script. So let's do that as a fourth parameter, like DBA or actual database. The target will be address book. Okay, in your case that may be something else, but this is not enough. We need to use this thing somewhere, and that will be here after password. So this is just way of connecting to server when you exactly know what you're going to use. Okay, it's equivalent of going to terminal and using use that database, use people, use products, and so on and so on. So you know this from messing around with terminal, MySQL command prompt basically. So database. So leave this part here alone. This will work. We need to check our connection. We will work a lot with this thing, obviously, and down there we will change this database created to SQL command. Okay, why? Because this is a generic way of handling actual execution. So we will not go every time here and change table created, table updated, like I don't know, database deleted, and so on and so on. We'll just say SQL command OK, and then we will fiddle around on this line. So of course, except this line, don't change anything here and the thing will work. So right, let's change this. Oops. Let's change this to command dedicated for creation of table. Create table and open normal brackets, and here inside of brackets press enter a couple of times, and now we'll go field by field, basically column by column. We're gonna state with what kind of data types we are working with. So first thing first, we need to have some kind of ID, and that will be integer. And I will not explain data types here a lot, because my assumption is that you do know that from my MySQL, pure MySQL playlist. Okay, 40 tutorials, I think, something like that. So yeah, ID will be integer. It will be not null, which means everything it must be populated basically. Primary key and auto increment. So every new row will be incremented by one, and so on and so on. Comma, don't forget that. So name of that person, but we actually didn't state here, I didn't state here the name of actual table. Let's say people. Sorry about that. So name will be variable character up to, I don't know, 30 or something. So that will be not null. Okay, we must type that. Last name, same thing, varchar up to 30, not null. What else? Telephone, integer, normal stuff, and email, that will be varchar up to 100. That's pretty long email. Or you can use even more, it's totally up to you. Now what else? Actual address. So varchar let's say up to, well, I don't know, 100. Now the smart idea here when you're working with production stuff is to split address into two parts, into street, name of street, and actual apartment or flat number. But for simplicity reasons, we are just going to say address here. And after that, we'll have a little bit of metadata, like a timestamp, date and time, presented as a bunch of characters that you can later split and get date and time. So timestamp in the moment. And well, let me see. Well, that's pretty much it. ID, name, last name, what else? Telephone. Well, yeah, that's cool. So let's save this script and let's go to index and refresh. Connection successful. One part of the story is done, and SQL command is okay. So now we need to say here that we have actual table. Let me see. Right, so people. So when I click here, or here I will get the structure, basically structure. Okay, so in ID, okay, name, last name, telephone, email. Well, yeah, that's pretty much about it. So this is it about this tutorial. Now you can go out and create any other table. I don't know basically what you are doing, but you can play around. But honestly, for simplicity reasons, I think that you should save yourself a little bit of time and just follow this one table and not to mess around with too many of your own tables, because you will basically waste time and maybe end up confused and so on. So objective here is not to learn about how to work with many tables. We are just doing simple stuff with one table, like insertion, pulling things from it, and so on and so on. So yep, if you run this script once more, then you'll run into error. Now connection will be fine, but here you'll have error. Table people already exist. So yeah, that's pretty much it. And as always, thank you for watching. See you next tutorial. Hello YouTube. In this tutorial we will learn how to insert new things into our table, which is people, which is inside of our database address book. So let me copy paste this to new file, just in case if I mess something with the code, so I can have a backup file. Save as insert into .php, because that's command we are going to use. Right, so let's get out from the index.php. Here we will change only one thing, and this is SQL command. Okay, so let me clear everything here. Don't change anything with parameters, with connection checks, and SQL command checks. We will not touch that. We will work with actual data. So the thing from MySQL will go like this: insert into the target people, and now we need to state here the order of columns. So let me find that. See, ID, name, last name, telephone, email, and address without meta. That will be populated automatically. You will see how. You probably know this up till now. And yeah, so order, ID, name, last name, what was it? I think telephone and email and address. Let me lower down the font size. Now down there we will say values, and also in the normal brackets we will say null for ID, because that means that ID will be calculated automatically, because this is primary key, auto incremented by 1, so +1 and so on for every new entry. So null will get the job done. This is kind of trick here. Some people think about it as a trick. Some people, well, I don't know. It is important that it works, okay? So name, let me see, Samantha. And I'm here using single quotes and up here double quotes, because I'm trying to evade possibility of quotes canceling each other. So it's always smarter idea on one side, on a start and end of command, to use one quotes, and somewhere in it to use another quotes. Not just in MySQL, but also in most of other programming languages. So yeah, Samantha, and what was it? Last name will be like Fox. I mean, I don't watch TV at all for last 2 decades, but I remember this from some serious episodes. I don't know, who cares. And telephone, yeah, so integer 555 444. And let me see, email, that must be string, so mail at server. And after that, address will be like main road, main uppercase, damn it, main road 12A, something like that, who cares. And yep, that's pretty much it. So let's close our command, but please note that we are opening thing with double quotes, closing it, and inside we have pure MySQL stuff. And don't forget to use semicolon at the end of actual PHP command, okay, like variable. I don't know how you think about that. I just don't care. Basically, it's just a handle. So for cancel, not cancel, but close that with a semicolon. So yep, let's save this stuff. Let's go to server, and we will use here insert into new file PHP. Enter, and connection successful, and SQL command OK. So that's for insertion of data. Now let's check actual stuff here, people, and yep. So here we are. We have ID 1, name, telephone, name, last name, telephone, okay, and we have meta like data about time and a date. Now, if you run this couple of times, you will always enter new stuff. So every time when you refresh things, you will get new stuff here. Okay, so refresh, and there you go. You have a lot of these things here. So yeah, you can also use console, like select all from what was it, people, and control plus enter, and again you have results. Or you can go to SQL and type that, control enter, and there you go, results again. So pretty much cool stuff. If you wanna grab things only by, I don't know, last name, if you have multiple rows here, you will do something like just a second, like select all from people where last name, like, what was it, Fox, and semicolon, control enter, and there you go. Again, we have the same results because we have just copy pasted a couple of times this Samantha. Now that was pretty much simple. Just remember that inside the quotes you'll have pure MySQL stuff, and outside you need to use double quotes. Don't forget semicolon, and if you issue a couple of times this script, if you click a couple of times on refresh, you will get same stuff in your database. So thank you for watching, and in the next tutorial we will deal with probably multiple insertions, or we will grab last ID, because that's important when you are creating your own CMS. So thank you for watching as always, and see you next tutorial. Hello YouTube, in this tutorial we will learn how to get that last entry. Why? Well, at a minimum we wanna see that something is happening with our last action, okay? And maybe you wanna use that ID to change or delete stuff if you're creating some kind of CMS with a lot of options, like commercial stuff that you're developing and so on. So the function we are going to use is MySQLi insert ID. That will return the auto-generated ID used in the latest query. So this is like a theory. But the important stuff to realize here is that this thing will work only on a column if you are defining that column as auto-increment. And ID in our case, in our table, is primary key auto-incremented. So we will have some kind of useful results and not just 0. So if you don't use auto increment, well, pretty much you will get 0, and what's the point in that? Right, so this is like a theory down there and examples. We don't care about that for now. We just wanna understand simple stuff here. So where I was? Yeah, how to use it? Well, see here we wanna use a variable which will hold the result of that activity, MySQL insert ID. So let me just type that, like last entry. We will get it when we use MySQLi insert ID function, and we need to state on which connection, on this connection. So normal stuff, you need to pass some kind of attribute to function, because that's what functions do, they mess around with attributes. Right, so connection in our case, okay, this one connection that is defined right here, so clear stuff. Don't forget to close command. And down there, we will use this thing in a report. Like, sorry, SQL command OK, last ID, and then we will pull things from last entry. Last entry, and we can concatenate that with I don't know, break maybe, or horizontal line. Yeah, horizontal line, who cares? Okay, so that's it. Don't forget to close your command. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So let's save this into as a last entry. Last entry.php, because maybe we will create some other kind of tutorials. So I don't know what I'm going to do, but maybe I will need it later. So last entry. And up here, let's change actual fields to John. I don't know, like Smith. And the number will be like, who cares? And mail, like mailx at some server dot, I don't know, net. Main road 13A or 14A. So they're like Samantha and John are like neighbors or something, who cares? So save, and where is my browser? Right, insert into, we'll change that to last entry .php. So we will get now new stuff. We will get John into our table, but we will return ID of John. So enter. Unexpected last entry. What I was doing wrong? 27. So sorry about that. 27. Well, I was typing that correctly. So oh yeah, dot. Well, that was dumb, extremely dumb. I think that everything is fine now. Refresh, and there you go. Connection successful. That's fine. Command is okay, and last ID is 6th. So let's go to database and refresh, and down there we need to find, where is that thing? 6 John Smith, number 6. Okay, right, so that works, and we have individual data that are different from Samantha's data. Well, yeah, that's pretty much it. And if we run this thing a couple of times, like refresh, 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 we will have we basically copy pasted a couple of times through PHP script, so we will have new 9 rows here. Not rows, but rows. Yeah, right. Yeah, right, genius. Where I was. Refresh. And there you go. Last one was 9. Now, here's the question. If we delete all rows from beginning of our table dedicated to Samantha, will our next insertion go from 1 ID or from 10? Let's actually do that. Let's delete this stuff. Delete for Samantha. Just a second. And yep, that's about it. So let's do insertion again. Where is my browser? Well, here we are. Refresh and refresh. So see, we are going from 10, 11 and so on. We are not going back from 1. That's the purpose of auto increments. You cannot have duplicates, and that's very important when you're writing business type of applications. Okay, so yeah, let me go to there you go. See, so now, well, the report is a little bit weird, but we're not going from 1. So that's about it. Interesting thing to note. And in next tutorial we're going to do multiple inserts. Okay, that will be a fun thing to do. So thank you for watching as always, and see you there. Okay, YouTube, let's learn how to combine multiple inserts, for example 3 of them, into one big SQL command. So first thing, let's create a backup of this script. So file, where is it? Save as multi-insert.php. That's the place where we are going to work. Okay, so now we have a backup. And let's go to actual table and let's delete everything from here. So delete from people is command that will remove totally everything. Don't forget semicolon and control enter. Do we really want to execute this? Well, yes. So now we don't have pretty much anything here, but table is there. So first thing first, let's copy paste this couple of times, okay? Because we must do that on individual lines, and this is like a structure for all other operations. So let's copy paste that down there and down there, and let's have a little bit of vertical space here. So here's the situation. Every time when you have multiple inserts, you need to use semicolon here, okay? Because that's how to explain this. This is end of command. Sorry. This is end of this command, and now we need to have end of individual commands. So let's do that right here for our next insert. And here we don't need to do that because this is end of actual big command, okay? Now here we must use concatenation by stating just dot. So you probably recognize this. When you use this approach, you will concatenate left side with the right side. So this will look a little bit messy, but it will work. Now the function that we are going to use here is MySQLi multi-query, and let's get into documentation. So this thing will perform a query on the database. It will execute one or multiple queries which are concatenated by a semicolon, okay? So that's pretty much the theoretical background. So where I was, and let's change data to something else like Samantha and Fox and something here, who cares, mail X, yeah, like mail Z, main road 10. Now I'm just typing here to see the different thing in the report, but actual stuff is not important, like Annabella, Smith, and yeah, so let's have same data for John and Annabella because they're like living in the same flat, something like that, who cares. Okay, let's save this thing, and now let's refresh our page. Let's actually go to multi-insert .php, and hopefully there will be no errors. So connection successful, everything is fine, and last ID is 12. That means that if we drop all the rows from table, still we will not start from 1, we'll start from, well, how to explain this, from next one when we deleted everything else, okay? This is very important when you're working into finance, into business and so on. You need to have individual rows, okay? That will make your life very simplified, because if you do have common IDs, maybe you will run into all kind of problems with report and so on. So let's go to phpMyAdmin and refresh, and now we will have 3 entries, but we have done that automatically, okay? So the important thing here is to note that all stuff from last scripts, that those things are not changed. We need parameters, connection, we are dealing with connection issues, but here we are using same variable in such a way that we are concatenating things with dot and equality, but also do not forget semicolon at the end of individual insertions, okay? So yeah, it's a little bit of messy, but if you ever need this, you will know at least where to search for possible errors, okay? Just remember dot and remember 2 columns, but at semicolons, but at the end you just need 1. Why? Because see, double quote here and double quote here with end semicolon, and everything inside is treated as one big SQL command consistent of multiple individual insertions, okay? And we are using multi-query here as a function. So let's see, will this thing work if we use only one insert? Okay, so let me fix that. Okay, and let's delete these two last ones. So now we will have only one command. So let me see if everything is fine, and we are using same apparatus, basically same function. So refresh, and 15. So why I have 3 new columns? Let me see what's happening. Oh yeah, I don't have a 3 new, I have only 1. Sorry, I didn't see what I was doing. So I was thinking that I have 3 again because I didn't save my script, but I save it, so everything is fine. Stupid me, whatever. So that's pretty much it. Just remember that you can use multi-query when you're doing one thing, but also you can multiply many commands into one big SQL command. So in the next tutorial we will learn how to get things from table and how to do basically report, how to select things. So as always, thank you for watching and see you next tutorial. Hello YouTube, in this tutorial we will learn how to get individual rows from our table. So let's use this script as a base for our new script, which will be like select all. So file, save as, select all.php, and we will work here, but we need to throw away some things. So we don't need this, and we will work with pure SQL command here, which will be select all from table, in our case people. Don't forget to close it with semicolon. Now that is not enough, we need to issue it. So action equals, you know this from last tutorial, nothing special here, MySQLi query, and that thing demands left side and right side, 2 arguments, first connection and then actual command, which we have SQL command. Okay, and down there we need to work with individual rows from general report, and we'll do that using while loop. So while, and how to get that one line? Well, we will use new function MySQLi fetch assets. So what is this? This is a function, let me explain that into the documentation, that will fetch a result row as an associative array. So you probably know this from PHP playlists, that in associative array, which is basically dictionary in Python terminology, we have a left side and a right side. On the left side we have key, on the right side we have value. So in this case, when we grab results, left side will be name of column, okay, so that's permanent thing in our case, and the right side there will be actual data, okay, like addresses and emails and so on and so on. So columns and actual values, pretty much that. So let's work with that. We need to pass to this function result of this action. Okay, so let's do that here. And with that we will have all individual lines from pile of general results. So just imagine that you're working in pure MySQL terminal in command prompt, and when you type select all from specific table, you will have a lot of results, but all those results will be in individual separated rows. So with a line, it's like we work with only one row, so we can get there and see what is inside of individual column, okay, like intersection of horizontal and vertical line, and we have that element. Let me just type that here. For example, we wanna print only ID, okay, and we will concatenate our custom report with line. And because this is associative array, we will use keys, and because we are searching for ID, the column name will be ID, exactly like it's in database. Okay, after we are done with that, we will use one break to have a nicer results. Okay, so save, and let's go to our page, select all PHP, and there you go. So everything works. It looks well as a normal result. So only we are searching for ID, and we have ID here. So now let's extract all those individual things about specific row. So basically, for every column, for every row, we have that in a report. We will have that in a report. So echo custom report, like name plus line, and key will be name. So you get this up till now, I think, and we will use break to go to next line. So let's copy paste this to save ourselves a little bit of time. What else we have? Last name, and key will be last name. So this is name of column. Okay, nothing special here. What else we have? Email, I think. No, telephone, and I think, what was the order? Address or email? Let me see. Structure, email, and then address. Okay, so where I was here, email, and address, and the name of column as a key, and meta, like date and time, date/time. Name of column was meta. Okay, see, for timestamp. And after that, so this will be for one row. So after that, let's type one horizontal line, which will be basically delimiter between individual rows. Okay, so let me see where I was. Select all, refresh, and there you go. So let me see what I have. ID, that's cool. Name, last name, telephone, email address. We didn't forget anything, but this report looks a little bit stupid. Everything is on top of each other. So let's fix that actually. We will pull this break. We don't need that. Let's concatenate that with this, and let me fix this here. So we will concatenate name with line, and let's go down there, and then we will concatenate that with let me see, telephone. Okay, and then what else we have? Email, and that, and what else? Let me see. This is a little bit confusing for me, but apparently I will handle it. And date and time, we need to concatenate that, or we'll run into kind of mess. What else we need? Well, yeah, that's pretty much it. And now we will use HR here. So basically what I have done is I eliminate all those breaks, and now we will have everything on one line for individual row. Yes, it looks a little bit confusing, but you can arrange this a little bit better. I don't know, like let me see what I can do here. Like this, maybe it's better. Just a second. Something like that. And down there, well, PHP is like that. Sometimes it can look a little bit nasty and messy, but that's what we have for now. Save, and I think that everything will be fine. Where is my browser? Refresh, and there you go. So we need to have a little bit of break here, like space. And yeah, let's do that. Where is the problem? Email. Let me find that. Here. And here, and here, and here, and here. And I think that will get the job done. Okay, so that works. That's kind of cool. Well, yeah, this is it. Nothing special here. I do know that it looks a little bit messy, but it works, you know. It looks like those reports from MySQL terminal. So of course you can use Bootstrap 4 here, you can use table structure, HTML table to get nicer results, but that's not what I want to do here. I just want to learn, I just want to show you to how get these things. So let me repeat how we get there. We were using pure HTML, MySQL command, then we are issuing that thing using MySQL query, and then we are passing those results to this function, because this function is dedicated for extraction of individual lines. And now in those individual lines we have columns, so we are using that on the left side, custom report, and on the right side we are using keys from associative array to get right side, which are values. Okay, so yeah, you can practice this, but it will work, no problem. And up here maybe we can say like echo h1 and h1 results, just to delimit things from here. Okay. Oops, problem on 24, where is that? Yep, semicolon, normal stuff in PHP. And there you go. So anyway, thank you for watching, and as always, see you next tutorial. Hello YouTube. In this tutorial we will fix this ugly kind of report, see this, and we will turn that into pure HTML table report. So let's first save this stuff as not select all, but HTML report PHP, and we will work here. So let me see what I need to do first. Echo, we will start here table, and we need to also start heading tr basically, and down there, after everything is done, we need to close our table. So echo table, okay, and here we will work with, well, what else we need to do? Okay, let's just have table for now. So here let's have individual rows fixed. Now we don't need this, we need td, and that will be concatenated with this result. So up here we will have also /td as end, but let's do that down there, it's easier. We will close that here, and we will open a new one column, concatenate that with actual result. Okay, and let's copy paste this couple of times down there. So this is pure HTML stuff. I hope that I don't need to explain this. Okay, and down there too, and down there. So basically we are putting all our results into individual fields. What else we can have here? Well, we need to close tr, pure HTML table stuff, and up here we need to open it. So tr, dedicated for actual data, and I think we are cool for now. Let me see. Refresh. Oops, I'm using same stuff here, select all, but we are working with HTML report. So just a second, HTML report.php, and we have something to work with. Okay, ID, everything is called concatenated, but that's cool. This is just a table. So now we need to fix column names here. We will start tr here, and let's say echo td. We need to close it, td. So this will be like a structure for all columns. Let's copy paste that a couple of times down there. So let me see what we have as a column names. ID, name, last name, ID, name, last name, and what else? Telephone, and mail, and what else? Address, and once more for meta, date and time, and I think we are cool. But we have opened tr here, we need to close it down there. So yeah, we can put that here, why not? tr, and I think that our column names are fixed now. So let me see. Okay, now this is, again, this works, but it's kind of ugly. So let's use like 80% of our table here, of our page width. How to do that into pure HTML? Let me see if I forget that. Width equals 80%, I think. And also, well, call span, sorry, cell span will be 2. And border will be 1 or maybe 2. Let's see what's up. Refresh, and now we have something to work with. So let's turn this column here into yellow or any other color. So that's a tr. Where is it? tr bg color, pure HTML stuff, like yellow. Save and refresh, and there you go, that works. So what I was doing in this tutorial was basically we fixed our ugly report by using pure HTML table, no CSS here. In this section of code I was generating table and using dedicated tr for column names, because we need to have names of actual data to know with what we are working with. And then down there I was fixing this piece of code for individual results so they can be easily represented basically. So this is just td opened, and here we have td closed, but I was passing that down there because it's I don't know, for me it's easier to understand. But yeah, some people will say, why don't you do this on individual lines? So sure, we can do that. So let's do that, because some people will be maybe, you know, maybe will not like that. So let me do that, and maybe it's easier to do it like this. PHP can be a little bit too messy. So now I will fix this piece of code by using delete option. Okay, and here also. So that's pretty much it. I hope that now you understand what I'm doing here. Nothing really special. We are opening here tr, closing it down there, and here we have individual tds. Okay, so save, and now I need to run into same result here. So we are just messing with code, but our table will look pretty much the same. So yeah, it's definitely easier to understand. Let me see if I messed something. ID, name, last name. Okay, so no mixed results, everything is fine. Okay, now when we know how to do HTML report, in the next tutorial we will learn how to remove these individual rows one by one. Okay, that will be funny thing to learn. As always, thank you for watching and see you next tutorial. Okay YouTube, let's learn how to delete individual rows here using the simplest possible approach, and that is with IDs. Sure, from MySQL playlist on my channel you know that we can delete many things here using combination of different columns, but still you need to type a lot and think about structure of your command dedicated for removal of things. But with ID you are pretty much sure that you will get the job done without too much errors. Of course, when you're messing around with database, with tables, it's always nice to have a copy of it, even if when you're practicing. Okay, so yeah, we will use IDs. Right, we will work into new file like delete.php. Okay, here we are. Now let's remove something what we don't need from here. Okay, and we need obviously to change actual command. So delete from table people. In this case, let me say I'm gonna delete John here at place 13 because that's like a 12, because that's like a double information, a duplicate. We don't need it, so we are trying to clear like our database, our table. So delete from people where ID equals 12, and we don't need to use here any kind of quotes. This is just integer, so the thing will work. Right, after that, because this is just a command and now we need to check if everything is fine, we will use if statement and MySQL query to issue our SQL command. So MySQLi query, and that thing demands actual connection, in our case just connection, simple stuff, and actual SQL query, command. And I think we are cool. So let's print when operation is done, when everything is fine. Let's print, for example, something totally generic, SQL command. Okay, and you can go into great details here when you're messing around with your CMS with custom information, but I just don't have those kind of ideas right now, you know. So yeah, let's end that command right here. So that's pretty much it, and we need to have a backup operation if something is wrong. For example, if we issue this command couple of times and we will say echo SQL error, something generic, or like that row already deleted or something like that. Sorry, who cares, SQL error, and let's connect that with actual error if it happens from system. So we have custom error plus generic error. So MySQLi error. Okay, and when you are working with errors you want to know about what kind of connections we are talking about. So connection, and I think that we are pretty much fine right now. Save, and let's go to that file, delete.php, enter, connection successful, SQL command OK. So basically I also need to check now results. What was it? HTML report, and there you go. So you can also use like range of results from 13 to 15, let's say, and of course we need to mess around with pure MySQL command. Let me see where ID between, what was it, 13 and 15. Okay, now we can also use delete from people, and that thing will totally delete everything. But let's just say that you want to mess around with specific range because you have, I don't know, 10,000 rows in your database, in your table. So save and delete, delete.php, where is that thing? Connection successful, one level back, refresh, and there you go, no data anymore. So that's about it. In the next tutorial we're gonna talk about update. Okay, but unfortunately I don't have anything right here because I was stupid, so I need to go a couple of levels back, and I need to find that, where is that thing, open. I need to find that multiple insert if everything is there. Well, no, so I didn't save basically my multiple inserts. So let's just run this script couple of times, and then I don't know, we'll have at least 3 same lines to work with. So what was it? Multi-insert, PHP, multi-insert.php, connection successful, refresh, and we'll have probably 4 lines to work with. Refresh, and there you go. So yeah, at least I have same stuff. So in the next tutorial, as I said, we're gonna update, well, something from here. Thank you for watching, and see you next tutorial. Hello YouTube, let's learn how to update stuff here. For example, for John, we will change his telephone to something else, but this looks a little bit boring, so let me find that script of mine when I was inserting something else. Insert into, okay, Samantha Fox. Let's use her a couple of times to insert her into database basically. So what was it? Insert into PHP, once more and once more. So we have a couple of stuff here now, 7 rows. Right, so let's first fix this John boy. Okay, we will change this to, I don't know, 888.999 or something. We will use, for example, new script. Let's save this as or even this. Yeah, so let's use this as a backup. Update update.php, and 1 line is enough to get the job done. Everything else will remain the same, you know, connection, this piece of code and this piece of code, sorry. So update people, so that's our table. Set telephone equals, let's say, 888.999, and actual location, so where name equals John, and I think that will work. So save and update.php, update.php, connection successful, and let me check results. There you go. So now if I try to run this thing again, let's see what's gonna happen. Well, pretty much nothing, because I didn't run into any kind of errors. So now let's change for Samantha something based on ID. For example, for ID 20, I'm gonna change mail here to something else. Okay, so there is some reason for that, I don't know, we are just experimenting here, but we will just use ID here. So we can do that even if we have same person. I really like working with ID because they are so accurate. So where I was, update people, set mail equal to something like backup at Office X, where ID equals 20, and we don't need to use here any kind of quotes, this is just an integer. So save, and let's go to update things. Connection successful, error unknown column mail in field list. So thank God I have a backup, I mean those error checks. So where I was, mail, email, sorry about that. And now things need to work. Refresh, and SQL command OK. 1 level back, refresh, and there you go. We have now new mail on a place 20 for Samantha, and also we have same person down there, but also that person has a original mail. Very cool stuff. So that's very it. You know, there is nothing special here. We are just using this piece of code from last tutorial, and we are changing just SQL command. So you can use base. This script is the base for removal of things, updates, insertions, and so on. Well, maybe not for insertions, but yeah. So when you're inserting, you probably want to grab things from HTML form, but if you want to do something secure, if you don't want to publish your update script to everyone on internet using HTML form, you can do that like in the background of your site with a PHP script, with a Python script, and so on. So only you will know the name of that script. You can also delete it from server. So if you need to do any kind of mass, you know, changes or mass update, then you can just, after you are done with the job, you can delete that script. But please pay attention about ownership of PHP script on a server, because you don't want other people to see your basically source code. You know, not checks, but what's the term in English here for permissions? Yeah, permissions. Right, so very simple stuff. So objective in next tutorial will be to learn how to delete every line from our table in such a way that still we will have table, still we will have database, but our things will be totally cleared. Okay, so we will start from ground zero basically, with a table structure as a base. So yeah, thank you for watching. See you next tutorial. Okay YouTube, welcome to tutorial where we will delete with one line of code all rows. So we will empty absolutely everything and we will start from ground zero. That is a very easy thing to do in MySQL. So before doing that, I want to show you something. How with the one little error, you can totally destroy your whole table. So here's the situation. Let's say that you are tired, you are not paying attention, and you want to change telephone for John into something else, but you forgot to say that you are changing things for John. So when you do that, you will change telephone for all other people here. So if you have 100,000 people in this table, you will totally destroy, well, at least that column. And in most cases, when you create this kind of mess, well, you will destroy pretty much everything in a table. It depends what you're doing, but that's the assumption. Okay, so let's go and we will use this script as a base. So let's back it up. Save as delete all.php. That's what we are going to do. And see this? When we are updating here, for example, telephone, we will say update people set telephone equals, let's say, 444.111. And now, as I said, if you're tired, you forget to say where you're updating your stuff. So you're forgetting to say where ID is that or where mail is something else. So you will just say this, okay? You're not stating other things that will help you to be really precise. So you will say everything will work. That's assumption. You save this stuff. And let's actually go to our script. Delete all.php and you run it. And you think everything's fine. I have updated my stuff. Everything is normal. Is it? So HTML report. Now check telephone here. Okay, that's before update. And now let's check situation. So for all people, we have now new telephone. So our table is totally destroyed right now. Well, if you have a backup, that's fine, but most of the people for some reason doesn't create backup of their database and their table if they are working on their own custom CMS. If they are working with like WordPress or some other CMS, they do have automatic backups or hosting provider is doing that for them. But as I said, for some reason, People are just too lazy. They think that everything will be fine. They create this kind of error and they are totally busted. Not just that they are busted, but if they are working for company, their company is busted. And that's scary stuff even to think about. Well, so if you're practicing, you will say, no problem, I'm just gonna delete everything and then I will enter new data. And yeah, that's cool if you have a couple of lines, but as I said, if you are doing stuff on production kind of computers, well, you're pretty much busted. So let's delete everything and let's start from ground zero. That's like assumption, you know. You're just practicing, so you can do that. Now the command to do that will be truncate table, that one. So truncate table, that one, which is, what was it, people, where I was typing that, well, yeah, people, yeah, people, and save and delete all.php. Let's now run that script, delete all.php. Connection successful, SQL command OK, one level back, refresh, and there you go, you don't have any data to work with. So this was very short tutorial. Please note, do have a backup of databases or of tables of your file system when you are working for money, for yourself or for other people, because one moment of tiredness is enough to totally bust your startup. Just imagine you are just opening your company, a couple of people are working for you, you're doing everything to earn enough to pay the people, and you're tired, you create one error and your whole startup is busted. So please create backups. So thank you for watching, see you next tutorial. Hello YouTube. Now when we don't have nothing in our table, it will be excellent position to go and create HTML and corresponding PHP processing script to get stuff in here. So first we will start with HTML form, file, new, let's immediately save it as, I don't know, HTML insert.php, actually HTML form insert, something like that. Save, and let's start typing. So form, we need to open it, down there we need to close it. This is just pure HTML stuff, nothing special here. Oops. And the processing script action will be like data insert, let's say, .php, and method man and redman method will be post. Okay, and let's have a structure set up here like labels and text inputs. So label, we need to close it, and down there corresponding input type will be text, and name for the field, well, we need to define that a couple of times, so let's just use this as a structure for next work. And let's have one BR here, so I think that will be fine. Down there we need to have submit button, so input type equals submit, and value will be, I don't know, submit or entry or action, something like that. Submit, and that's pretty much it. So let's fix those individual fields. How many of them we have? Let me remind myself a little bit. So ID, and ID will be name for that. Then we have, let me think, name and name. Down there last name, and last name. What else? I think the order was a telephone, and we need to do that here. What else? Email, I think. Let me check that order. I always forget that. Email address. Okay. Email. And that's it. So down there, place for address. And address. So that will be pretty much it. Okay. Let's fix that a little bit. Right. Save. And what was it? HTML form insert. So let's see what's up. HTML form insert dot, what was it? HTML. Enter. HTML form. Why that thing doesn't work? Let me see. Oh, I save it as a PHP. Sorry about that. So file, save as, same stuff as HTML. Enter, and I think that everything will be fine now. Refresh. Oh, that's ugly. Let's fix that. Well, how to fix that? Well, let's try with one more break here. Maybe it will be nicer. Let me see. Well, yeah. Who cares? I don't care about how beautiful this is, well, at least for now. Of course, you can do this with Bootstrap, let's say Bootstrap 4, if you have a little bit of time to practice. And down there, once more, and yeah, that's it. So, refresh, and there you go. But it's still ugly, so let's push it for once more time down there. I really don't like this, it looks like a snake. So again, I will use break, but here and here and here and so on until the end of time. This was a stupid approach, but it will work. Okay, and also here, where I was, yep. Right, so it's very simple. You can do this nicer with CSS, but I don't care about CSS and Bootstrap 4 now, or any other front-end framework. We will not mess around with JavaScript, with CSS. Let's just start rolling with PHP processing script. So, let me see what I can use from my scripts here. Data insert, no, insert into. Let me open that. Okay, so we can use this. And let's save this script as, what was it? Data insert.php. File, save as, data insert.php, and now we need to fix a relatively great number of things. Let's first grab things here from HTML form. So ID, we'll grab that with post ID. And we need to grab other things, so let me maybe use this structure. No, let's do this manually. What was it? Name equals, well, maybe we can use it. We are grabbing name from form, and what else? Telephone. Okay. In which order? Mail. Email, what else? Address, oops, right, and no, before that, well, let me check if I mess something up here. I always forget that. Name, last name. Did I type last name? No, I didn't. So last name equals last name, and 1 2 3 4 5 6 1 2 3 4 5 6, so that's pretty much it. So we need to use these things into down there. So here's the situation. I use here automatic IDs, but here we are grabbing those things manually. So actually I don't need this. I totally forget about that. And that means that we need to change also this. So let's just delete it. Let me check my form. So that works. Okay, data insert.php, we are here. So let's grab these things and let's put it down there. The thing is very simple. Let's just change these hard-coded data into dynamic ones that we are grabbing from HTML form. Last name and number. Telephone. No, just a second. Yeah. So that was error. And email. And then we need to grab address. And I think we are pretty much good to go. So save and refresh, and let's insert a couple of things like Annabella, Fox, telephone, something like that. Annabella at some office, and address main road x66 123 ABC, who cares. Right, so submit. Connection successful. So let me check that into database, in a table, browse. So yeah, we have our data here, everything is fine, nothing is missing. Automatic ID, and let's check that with HTML report. Well, yeah, that's it, our thing work. So let's explain one more time what we are doing here. First we created the HTML form. Okay, we are processing things into this script. Here we are using method post. We are using couple of labels and then couple of elements basically. So every label will correspond to actual field. Now we need to grab those things and we need to put it here using this approach. Okay, now when we have it, we will put those individual elements here into this statement. Okay, so the thing is very simple. Hard-coded data you will replace with dynamic variables that we are grabbing from HTML form, and that will be, well, that will be pretty much it. So so in the next tutorial we can start creating like a admin panel or something with dynamic navigation here for removal by ID, for HTML report, for, I don't know, I will figure something out. And yeah, of course we will have this form here as a index, let's say index page. Right, so as always, thank you for watching and see you next tutorial. Okay, YouTube, as I promised, let's create something that will look like an admin panel, like a real website. So let me see what I'm gonna do here. Let's turn this HTML report into index page. So let me see, I think that I do have index page here, so let me see what is inside. Well, I was creating table, so that will not get the job done. So let's save this as a create table, just in case, maybe we will need that. And then that means that, where is that thing? I need to open it. HTML report. So we will save this as index page. I think that's a good idea. So file, save as index.php. Do you want to replace it? Yes. And now when I go to root, there you go, same result. So now let's create navigation. So basically navigation.php will be new file, and we will include that file into absolutely every other page, every other PHP page, HTML page. So yeah, let's do that. File, new. Let's immediately save it as navigation.php. Save, and this is PHP file, so PHP, and down there let's start with navigation. because we are working in the PHP script, we must print that thing inside of single quotes. So let me arrange this a little bit. And here we'll put plain HTML. Okay, so links a ref equals let me see. Right, we need to close it. So home, and let's use this down there. Okay, here we can have some kind of separator or something. So home, and then new post, new entry. Basically it's up to you. What else? Delete by ID. Delete by ID. You can create many pages to delete by name, telephone, and so on, but I will just use ID because that's a simple solution. And what else? Update. Well, update will be a little bit of tricky, but we'll figure something out. Update, and I think that's cool for navigation. Let me save that and see what's up. Navigation.php. Okay, so that will get the job done pretty much. So now let's fix these links. What was it? For home, that was, well, yeah, index. So we don't need to type that. Well, index PHP. For new post, that will be, let me see, where is that thing? HTML form insert. Yeah, that will be that. Okay. So where I was, HTML form insert.php. Delete by ID, we need to create that script. Delete by id.php and update, well, yeah, update PHP. So we need to create that. Right, so let's include this file into home page. Here it will be a good place to type include and navigation.php. Don't forget to close command. So let me check, will that work? Okay, so that works, but I need to push this thing down there, and that means that, yeah, let's do that here. Yeah, why not? BR one will get the job done. Maybe once more. Or maybe we even don't need this, but it will be maybe ugly if I don't type anything. So, well, yeah, that will get the job done. So let's include this thing, navigation.php, into other pages that we have. What we have? A new post. So that is HTML form insert. Where is it? HTML form insert. Up here. We can say PHP include navigation.php, and I think that will work. HTML form insert. Yeah, so this is HTML file, so that was dumb. Let's fix navigation. Here. HTML, save and back, refresh, new post, and there you go. So let's type something here, like, yeah, let's double this information. Who cares? No one cares. Address, submit, everything is fine. And now we also need to print that here, like navigation, we need to put that here into data insert.php. So let me do that. Where is that thing? Here. Yeah. Include navigation.php and refresh. Okay, so home, and I need to have 2 new rows. Right, new post, and let's do that again. Okay, home report, and that works. So this home can be a little bit tricky to understand, so let's change it into home report. So yeah, that is into navigation, home report, something like that. Save, refresh, and there you go. Now we know about what we are talking about, but we are into 8 minutes of tutorial. So in the next tutorial we're gonna create form to delete by ID, and we will connect that with appropriate PHP script that we already have, I think. If we don't have it, we will create it really quickly, so no worries. Anyway, thank you for watching. See you next tutorial. Hello YouTube! In this tutorial we will create HTML form dedicated for removal of specific row here. So when I click on delete by ID, I'm gonna use, well, obviously ID to delete specific line, okay? So everything works up till now. When I click on home, that works, everything loads. When I click on new post, I have form, but I don't have navigation, so apparently that's error. So let me see. HTML form insert. Yeah, I'm using here HTML page and not PHP, so let's fix that. Okay, that means that also this file need to be saved as PHP file. So .php, and because we are opening here PHP file down there, we need to close it. So let's push this down there, up here, okay, and then we need to print this, because now this is a PHP file, okay, using one echo, and that must be into single quotes, because when you're using single quotes, all other individual symbols will be used exactly like they are here, and when you're using double quotes, well, you can run into some kind of errors. You'll get that there over time through errors and so on. So refresh, and yeah, that need to be PHP file. That works. Home report, new post. Yeah, so we have navigation. Now let's create PHP file. The name of that file will be, let me see, delete by id.php. So this will be form to grab ID that we are going to delete. So delete by ID, so let me just copy paste that to file, new, immediately we will save it as delete by ID, and let's open our PHP file. Okay, so form, we need to print it, echo, because this is PHP, okay, now, and here inside we will use pure HTML. So what was it? Form, and we need to close it down there, and up here we will use action, and the PHP script that will get the job done will be like data processing form or something. Delete ID dot php, okay. Method must be post, and we need to have label here, but I don't want to waste your time basically, so allow me just to copy paste a couple of things from here. And also we need to have submit button. Where is that? Okay, down there. Okay, so let's change this into ID to delete, ID to delete, and the name of that will be, well, ID to delete. So we need to grab this thing into our delete ID PHP form, okay. So let's use double quotes here, and everything is fine now. So let's check our form. delete by id.php. Okay, that works. We don't have navigation here, so we must include it here. What was it include? Navigation .php, and don't forget to close your command with semicolon. Okay, so that works. So now let's see what we need to do. Just a second. Delete id php file must be created. So let's copy paste this file, new file, save as, delete id php. So this is processing file that will be used to delete actual ID. Okay, so this is a form and this is a processing file. Okay, and I think that I already have that somewhere. I think here, so we can reuse this script pretty much. Okay, we don't need to type everything all over again. Let me grab everything from here into delete id php. Right. So first thing first, let's create navigation, include navigation .php, and after that we need to grab that thing from our HTML form, id to delete. Okay, so yeah, get id to delete. We will get that with post from form, and the field we are grabbing is id to delete. So copy and let's paste it here. So I think that everything will work now, but we need to use this thing into actual SQL command. So let's copy that down there. Delete from people where id between, and we don't need this. Definitely we don't need the range. We just work with one id. So let's just copy our variable here, and I think that everything will be fine now. Okay, refresh, and which id to delete? Let me see. Let's say 13. Okay, an umbrella. So delete by id, number 13, submit. Connection successful, everything is fine. Let's check our report. There is no number 13. Let's do that for 12. 12, submit. SQL command OK. And that's cool. So some people will say, well, this is kind of stupid because I always need to go to home page to check our report basically. So is there any way to have that report on this page? So let's see what's up, what I can use. Let me see. Well, I will use index. I will pull things from index page. Let me see. Index. We don't need this, we already have that into this script. Yeah, so we need this part, and we will change a couple of things. So allow me a couple of seconds here to think. Copy paste, and this part will be like a get report on delete page. Okay, so we have SQL command here and also SQL command here, so that will not work. Let's change this into like get all, and then we must change that in a couple of places, like here, get all. Okay, so where else I need to change this? Let me see. Action, okay, that works. So only here, and I think that everything will be fine now. Maybe I need to do a couple of horizontal lines here or breaks, but let me just see if that thing will work. So home report, that works. New post, that works. Delete by id, and refresh. Nothing happens because I need to type actual number first. Let's say 7 here. So now when I press submit, in the results, in the next page, I will do the stuff and I will get a report. Hopefully, yeah. So that's cool. We have just Annabella here left. So let me see where else we need to do this. Well, on this form, yeah, let's try to do that. This will be like just copy pasting. So let's do that here. Copy and delete by ID. This is the form. So down there we need to do that because this is PHP file, so everything will work. Get a report on delete page. Yeah, that will work definitely. Refresh. Undefined variable connection on line 20. Just a second. So yeah, I don't have actual connection. So this is just a form basically. Yeah, form and navigation, but I don't need that connection to database thing. So that was extremely stupid. So let's copy paste stuff from here. That's dedicated for actual connection. And that will get the job done. So copy somewhere around here in the header of our script. So now we have navigation, we have connection parameters, we have actual connection, then we are checking connection. Down there we have a form. Okay, we can also put this at the top of the script, but who cares? For now, that's not priority. And after that, we are grabbing things from our database. So I think that everything will be fine for now. Let me see. Right. So that works. Excellent. Of course, nothing here. And maybe we need to add a couple of things. So new post. Annabella Smith, blah blah. I mean, I will just randomly type data here to have something to work with. Right, so that works. But also, let's have the same thing on a new post. So when you click, you also want to see here the results. So yeah, let's do that. So what I need to grab from here? Well, let me see first what I have in the insert script. What is that script? Let me see. Just a second. Yeah, HTML form insert. So what I have here, I need to have same thing, connection. So let's grab that from here. Okay, copy to HTML form insert, paste. And that must be, well, that must be inside of PHP file. So let's fix that. And right now we also need to extract data. Let me see. Same thing, we need to copy, get to report. Let's copy paste that to HTML form insert right here. And I think that will get the job done. So save. Okay, refresh, and there you go, the thing works. Home, we have a report, main page, new post, we have a form and we can submit, also report, that works. So let's actually use that like one more time. Submit, and there you go. But I don't have those things in the data insert, so I also need to change this script to have a report here. Well, let's do that, but we'll do that in the next tutorial because I don't want to go to 20 minutes of this. So thank you for watching and see you there. Okay, YouTube, let's fix this report right here. That basically means that we need to go into this file and copy paste our PHP code designated for reporting, which is this piece of code. But what is the name of file? Yeah, datainsert.php. So file, open, data insert, and down there we will put that report script, kinda. So let's grab everything from here. And yes, I know I can use, you know, dedicated PHP file for this report, but for right now I'm just gonna be messy and be focused on actual update script that we are going to write in this tutorial. So I don't care about code right now. Let's just get things done, okay? So paste, save, and I think that right now when I run this thing, I will have a new row and I will have report here. So that's completely fine. Right, couple of them, because I was refreshing this couple of times. So cool. So that works. Let me check. That works. Okay, this works. Right, cool stuff. So let me fix this navigation, because if I click on update right now, because my navigation will lead to update.php, I have that script already. So let's change this link to update by ID, because I don't want to cancel one script with another script. Okay, so let's create this form. Okay, update by ID, file, new file, save as update by id.php, and let's see what we can steal from other scripts here. This is the file, I think. Yeah, so let's grab this navigation and let's grab everything from here up till now. Okay, so this is just a form, right? So let me see what I need to change. I need navigation, and I need to this form, and down there we need to close our file. But the actual script that will process data will be like I don't know, update all script, something like that. Who cares? So we need to have ID here, because that's how we will get unique row, and then we'll change based on that row every other fields. So ID, update ID, ID. So what else we need to have here? We need down there to have a report. So let's grab those things. Dedicated for connection, that will be this up till here. Well, everything pretty much. So let's copy paste that. Let me see, down there from form, and I think that will get the job done. Yeah, the form is totally at the top, but who cares? I said that code is messy, but it will get the job done. So refresh and update, and that works. So we are here, we have navigation, we have a new field dedicated for ID, connection successful, and we have our report. Right, so next thing, we need to create that actual script. I update all script. Okay, that will get the actual job done. So copy, file, new, save as, update all scripts.php. Right, so we will work here. Let me see what we can grab from other scripts. I need to go to my old script, update.php. Probably we can use something from here. So we have parameters, communication, check communication, command. Yeah, so we can use this as a base. Copy. Let's basically grab everything into update all script. Right, so first thing first, we need to grab those things from our form, and there is a lot of it. So let's do that relatively quickly if I can. What we have, ID, we will get that with post, and let's use this as a base basically, because I want to save a couple of seconds or minutes here, probably minutes. So we are grabbing ID. Let me see, that was just ID. Okay, That's cool. What else we are grabbing? Name, last name, telephone, and email. Name, last name, telephone, email, address, and I think that's it. Let me check. Name, last name, telephone, email, and address. And yeah, we need, well, that's it. That's pretty much it. So let's just copy these variables on the left side, hopefully. Okay, telephone. So basically I'm doing this because I need to use these things down there into pure SQL command. Okay, nothing special here, it just demands a couple of minutes. So that's it. So now we need to use these things down there into actual SQL command. Right, so let's delete everything because I don't want to confuse myself all over again. So update, what we are updating, table people. Okay, set, you know this from MySQL tutorials. And now we need to go column by column. So name of column is name, in this case for name of person, and we are grabbing things from here. Okay, so we are grabbing this name through form and we are putting that into actual command that we need to execute a little bit later with this piece of code. Okay, so after that, don't forget to type comma. So this is pure MySQL kind of stuff, but don't mix these, don't intermix these single quotes, double quotes here and there, because you will definitely run into error like I in the meantime while I was practicing this stuff. And you can probably see that by number of rows here that I was changing columns and so on. But yeah, at the end of the day, the thing will work. So what else we are changing? Last name, and another thing is telephone, and another thing is mail, I think. Is that in that order? Let me see. Telephone, email, address. Okay, so email and address. Well, now this is end of command, so now we need to say where. So where id from table equals id from HTML form. Right, id, and now we need to close our command basically with this. Okay, so you can push it to next line if you want things to see clearer. So let me check. Comma, 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 single quotes. Outside we have double quotes. Here we don't have any kind of quotes, and that will probably work. So this ID, we are grabbing that from here. Okay, like a dynamic ID grabbing, not assertion, just updating. Okay, so yeah, let's refresh this thing, and let's use some let's change, for example, number 14. Okay, ID 14, and I will just type gibberish here because I want to easily detect that into my report. Okay, telephone 999 999, whatever, email something like this. Okay, it's totally stupid, but I will see that more clearer in table immediately. Right, so submit, connection successful. So let me check that into actual database. Yeah, so definitely that works for number 14. Yeah, so our table works. Bravo, hurrah, and something like that. Where I was, I'm starting to lose myself from this PHP mess. Okay, so let's also have here a report. Let me see what I need to use from here. Get a report on delete page. As I said, you can put this into individual PHP include files, but I don't care about that right now. So this was our file. Let's copy paste that down there. And here we need to have navigation. So include navigation .php. I think that's cool. We must close our command and one level back, refresh. Let's update something else, for example number 9, and we will type Z's here. ZZZ top, whatever. Yeah, telephone ZZZ. And address, of course, ZZ. Submit. Yeah, that works. Excellent. This was a long tutorial and a couple of other tutorials before. So as I said, you can grab these things from the bottom of your script and you can put it into individual reports, so you can change that to all of these scripts, including forms. But that's a lot of work for me right now, and that these things works. So I will leave that to you. You can practice with this if you like, and if you don't have a time, if you're tired, something like that, you can just leave it as I was leaving it right here. So let me see one more time. Is that thing working? Okay, so that's cool. New post. That's working. Let's type something like DDD. So now we are not changing things. See, we don't have ID here. We're just grabbing new stuff. Okay, something like that. And DDD. This thing must work. Right. So that works. Delete by ID. Let's delete number 14. Number 14. This is actually very handy. I can use this to make some money outside. Submit. So that works. Hell yeah. Update. We're gonna update number 9 with new stuff. Q. Oh, here, sorry. Q. Telephone. Email. Address. Q. Who cares? Submit. And that thing works. Why this thing is offering me to translate stuff, I really don't know. So yeah, that's excellent. Actually, I can really use this to create some kind of money making website outside with a little bit of AdSense here and down there. I can fix this navigation, I can use Bootstrap 4 and so on, but definitely I'm gonna leave that for, I don't know, next month or so, because I'm kind of tired from this PHP and MySQL playlist in the last 1 month. So yeah, as always, thank you for watching, and see you in some other playlist. This is end of this playlist, and next one will be dedicated for, let me see, for JavaScript. Yeah, so we will do JavaScript. Thank you for watching as always. Thank you for support and subscription. Sorry for these tutorials being a little bit longer than I thought, but right now you have really nice CMS that you can work on. Right. You can even change this and put this into your CV or something. So, thank you for watching. See you next tutorial.